Hello, I'm Atujama and you're watching Hornbill TV's Prime at 9 now. News in details. The Nagaland In-Service Doctors Association said it will go ahead with mass casual leave with indefinite agitation if the government fails to take decision before April 18. The deadline given by the NIDA to the authorities to fulfill its demand expires on April 17. The NIDA has been demanding for increase in superannuation age from 60 to 62 years. Addressing the media at the press conference media today at the association's office in Kohima, the NIDA President Dr. E. Pyang Suthang stated that the origin of the NIDA's demand can be traced back to the announcement made by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi on May 26, 2016. At Saharanpur in UP, stating the retirement age for all government medical doctors across the country would be raised to 65 years due to acute shortage of medical doctors and to retain the services of experienced doctors for a longer period. Following this, the NIDA has submitted series of and consultation between the government at various levels of an NIDA but did not yield any result. NIDA also informed the public that emergency services will remain functional during the 3 days mass casual leave. Therefore, it appealed for cooperation and moral support to their demands. In case of any untoward eventualities, the government will have to bear the responsibility or can shift the blame to those it claims are opposing NIDA's demands. It was informed.
The NIDA has been regularly reminding the government, and 4 reminders were submitted in written to the government that time was running out. To the credit of the government, the issue has been taken up at least 4 times in the cabinet, but decision has not been taken. The NIDA, left with little option, decided to go for mass casual leave from the 7th to 9th March 2022. However, an appeal was received from the Honorable Minister of Health and Family Welfare on the 5th of March to keep the proposed agitation on hold and assured to the NIDA that he will, quote, his best efforts, he will give his best efforts to ensure that the state government address the matter on urgency, unquote. The NIDA, heeding the appeal of the Honorable Minister, decided to keep in abeyance the proposed 7 to 9 March mass casual leave. To the general public, we would like to inform that emergency services will remain functional during this 3-day mass casual leave. We therefore appeal for cooperation and moral support to our legitimate demands. Sacrifices made during the COVID pandemic by the medical fraternity should not be so easily forgotten, particularly since the pandemic is far from over. Finally, no organization wishes to go on agitation mode or any confrontation with the government, least of all the NIDA. We hope that the government takes a favorable decision in the next 4 days, but if no decision is arrived at before 18th April, the mass casual leave will go ahead, and in case of any untoward eventualities, the government will have to bear the responsibility or can shift the blame to those it claims to be.
Meanwhile, Chief Secretary J. Alam has issued directions for non-approval of casual leaves from April 18 to 20 for NIDA members' participation in agitation in pursuance of its demands for increase in superannuation age from 60 to 62 years. Extensive deliberations have been held by the government with NIDA and other stakeholders, and the matter has also been considered by the government at the highest level. And on account of the fact that there was lack of consensus on either of the alternative options amongst NIDA and other stakeholders, further deliberations have been directed to be held. Principal Director at Health and Family Welfare have also been asked to direct all CMOs, MSs, controlling officers in district, sub-district, hospital level not to approve casual leave of any officer during the period of 18 to 20 April, and if already granted, to revoke the same. Any resort to illegal means of agitation shall be viewed seriously, and besides deduction of salary on the principle of no work, no pay, participants shall also be liable to disciplinary action for grave violation of conduct rules. In addition, the participants in the strike or agitation would also be liable for appropriate action under provisions of the law, it stated. The Chief Secretary also directed that the Deputy Commissioners of the respective districts shall also ensure that the Chief Medical Officers and the Medical Superintendents and their subordinate officers follow the directions.